Hello everybody and welcome to the channel. In this video I am going to show you how I create a night scene with glowing effects with soft pastels. So I have done a completed page in the Eriy book. This is the Romantic Country, the second tale, but this is the French edition. And last month I did a page and I had so many good feedback on this page, and a lot of people wanted to know how I created this. This was so easy. So I thought, okay, it's Halloween with a lot of glowing pumpkins and candles, so I'm going to recreate this effect, but on a different page. So what I want to show you is actually the night scene with the glowing effects of the candles with soft pastels. So the page I am working on, this is a body color with two lovely ladies, is this one. Okay, so what I did on the other page and what I did on this page is actually basing the whole page like it is a day scene. So I take a color palette. I took this one. So this is the Practical Color Combination book by Naomi Kuno. And I am going for this color scheme. So these are actually the colors I picked out in the Caram d'Ache Neo Color Tools. I just scribbled it on a palette. I picked it up with a water brush. And this is now the base of my coloring page. So nothing spectacular, not any shading, maybe a little bit, but it is very, very flat, like a normal day scene. And now we're going to create our light effects and the darker tones like it is a night scene. Okay, so this is actually very simple. I hope this works because on the other page everything was grays and blues. These are warm colors, so we're going to see what we're ending up with. Soft pastels are erasable, so if you aren't happy with what you did or the placement, you can always erase it, so no problem. And because it is a night scene, you always have to work with darker colors so you can cover up your mistakes if you are not happy with it. So in this color palette, I have like a little bit of a purpley color. So I think I am going for the purple blue colors for the night effect. On the other page, I had a lot of cold blue, so I took a cold blue. So I think the best way to tackle it is to use blacks, grays, purples and blues. And then of course yellow for the light effect, but you can switch it up depending on your color palette and if you're going for warm colors or you're going with cold colors. So, okay, this is a warm color palette. So I'm going for a warm purple. The soft pastels I am working with are the Faber-Castell soft pastels, the 72 mini blocks. So it is actually these soft pastels. I'm actually very happy with these, but you can use any brand you have. I mean, it really doesn't matter. And if you're going to see in these colors, I think I'm going to use maybe this bluish purple, I think this is going to work fine. And maybe like a dark gray or something, or black. It really doesn't matter. And I noticed for the glowing effects, you have to use a quite darker yellow because the pastels are not going to show you a lot of color on top of a basing. So I think I'm going for this one. It's the darkest yellow in my set. So I think that is what we're going to work with. So what I like to do, I like to take my soft pastels on a palette. I just take a knife. 1 second, I have it over here. Just a regular kitchen knife. You can use whatever you have. And I like to put it on the palette. I think you have more control doing this. But when you have a big area, it's better to do the shavings on top of the page itself. So I'm going to do both, but yellow is not a color we're going to use a lot. So this is just a little bit scribbling on the palette. And you can use cotton pads or cotton sticks, I think you call it. I use this. This is actually an applying tool for pen pastels, but I use it for my coloring pages because I can do a little bit more detailed work with these. What I also like to do when I work with soft pastels is trying to cover the page behind with a little bit of washi tape, because otherwise my page is going to be very colorful and I don't want that. So this is just cheap washi tape I use for covering up the page next to it. I do this for Neocolor 2s as well, Eriy pastels. Okay, so that's actually it. Okay, and then we're going to put a sheet behind this page because soft pastels is a little bit messy. So I'm going to take some sheets and I will be right back to you. Okay, so I put a sheet behind my page. I always forget something when I'm filming a video because I don't have a coloring space, so I have to pick all my supplies and my books on a table that is available, so I always forget something. Okay, so the basing of your coloring page can be with Derwent Inktense, Neocolor 2s, with water-based markers, alcohol markers, whatever you want. Just don't take a medium that is resisting soft pastels. Like for example, coloring pencils. I use coloring pencils on top of what I have done. So the basing has to be something water-based, alcohol-based, or that you can even base with soft pastels. Then you can use a fixative spray. You can use a clear gesso on top of it to have more tooth. So just experiment a little bit. It also depends on the tooth of the paper. So this is the French edition, so I have a little bit more tooth. I understand that the English edition of this book is very smooth. So I think if you want to do that, you can use a clear gesso and just go over it with some sanding paper or something. Okay, so this is very exciting for me as well. So what I want to do, like we have candles, glowing pumpkins, we have a window, and that's it. Okay, so I'm going to take a little bit of the yellow on my applying tool, and I am just going to highlight where my light source is going to be. So this is obviously a light source. So I'm going to take my applicator. So this is the yellow side, this is my blue side. I just switched them up. So this is going to be yellow. So just go on top of the whole thing, so you know where your light source is going to be. Okay, again, a little bit of the yellow soft pastel. And we have some little candles over here. So I'm going to put a little bit of yellow over here as well, like this. I looked up some glowing pumpkins, and the glow of the pumpkin isn't around like a halo around the pumpkin. So this is just inside of the pumpkin. So I'm not going to do these, this is a candle, so I'm going to do a little bit over here. But this is just inside of the pumpkin, so not on the outside because the candle is in the pumpkin. Here is a candle as well. So again, a little bit inside of the pumpkin, like this. And then what I'm going to do, because I want a little bit more of a light source, is putting a light source over here to the two characters and a little bit on the ghost. Okay, so I'm just going over everything. So this is going to be my my window with my light. You can go on top of it with color later, but this is just where I want to place my light. It's also a little bit on the gray area and a little bit over here. Okay, and then we're going to take a straight line like this, and over here as well, like this. And I'm just going to color everything in yellow, what is between the two lines. It doesn't matter if you go a little bit over the characters. You can go on top of it with some coloring pencils, or you can erase the soft pastels. Okay, so a little bit over here, like this. Okay, then the light is hitting over here on the head. So you just have to mark everything that has a light source. It doesn't have to be perfect, but you have to see where your lightest color is going to be and where your shadows are. Okay, so a little bit over here on the hand, a little bit also on the pumpkin. Okay, I think that's it. On the hair maybe a little bit. A little bit on the cat. And a little bit here on the ghost as well. Like this, and there is also a little bit over here on this pumpkin. Okay, so these are the light sources I want to take in consideration. Then I have, I'm going to switch up the sides, and I'm having like a blue color over here. Okay, so now I am going to take my purple color. Is it purple? Violet? I don't know what this color is. And I'm going to scratch it on my palette next to me. Okay, and then we're going to take purple and we're going to put it on all the rest of the page. So just where you have put your light sources, you have to stay away from that. All the other objects are going to be covered with a light layer of purple. Okay, so here we go. I'm not going to cover like every white and the pumpkins, but all the background, so the house and everything is going to be purple because I want that to be very dark. Okay, so here we go. So you're going to see the color through your layer of soft pastels. So start off with not a lot of pressure, just go in with a little bit of pressure. Just go around your light source like this. This is a very easy technique for creating a night scene, because I think it is very difficult to color every object when it is like very dark outside, but I think this is an easier technique. Like you see, you still see the green, but it is covered with like a layer of purple. Or you're going to do the beds. You can always erase if you think something is too dark. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going over it with some coloring pencils. It really doesn't matter if it is going a little bit over the pumpkins. If it is bothering you, you can always erase it. Okay, and we're going to do the same thing here on the door. This was actually a requested video. So this actually makes everything very muted. And what you have to do next is actually make sure that your shadows and your highlights are in the right place. And your darks have to be very dark and your lights have to be very light. So that's actually the trick of creating a night scene. So you need contrast, otherwise it is not going to work. Here is a little bit extra from the lighting. So I'm going to stay away from that. Okay, and then you have actually a very dark gray, and that is for the places that are the furthest away from the light sources. So this is not going to be a very dark, but like this side is going to be darker because we don't have a light source over here. So you can go in with a little bit more of a darker color. And that is going to give you a little bit more of a 3D effect. Like over here as well. This is a very, very ugly stage, so you have to look past this stage. I think I'm going to do a little bit darker over here, just in the corner. And a little bit extra. Over here. Okay, so that is actually it. This is everything I'm going to do for basing. And I'm going to spray this with a fixative, and then I'm going on top of it with coloring pencils. So I will see if I can put the finished result after this page, so you can actually see what I did. And yeah, let me know if you're going to try this technique as well. And if you post it on Instagram or YouTube, tag me so I can see your finished page. Thank you for watching and have a very nice day. Bye bye.